What is going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. We are back along E3 layover. We're back feeling good. We're going to be talking pretty much everything E3 today. But before we get started, I do want to say I appreciate everybody watching today. Make sure that link is hot. Let everybody know on Twitter what's going on. The Shop Podcast is live. Bring your butts in here. Let's talk about game and let's have some fun, man. You know what we do every Saturday, man. But you know how we do it? We're going to start with the guest, and we have a very, very, very special guest. Now, she has been on the show before, but it has been quite some time. But we always welcome the lady gamers to the Shop Podcast. So shout out to you, Mrs. L Boogie. Let everybody know what's going on with you, what you got going on, and where they can find you at.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. You can find me LBoogie0208 everywhere. I'm streaming on Twitter, all that good stuff. Same name.
Awesome. Shout out to the GWG, all the ladies hanging out, man. You guys go support everybody over there, Grown Woman Gaming. All that information is down there below the link tree. I made sure I threw that down there, L Boogie.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So they know where to find you guys. You guys know what to do, chat. Run them likes up. We do appreciate you guys here. Also, the super chat is live. We appreciate the support in that way as well, man. But we're going to go to the Four Horsemen. I just want to make a quick statement. As you guys can see, Stag is not here. So shout out to Stag, man. He has taken a bit of an extended break from the show. You know, just some self-health here. But we always, appreciate that. So shout out to him. I know he's going to be watching live. He may pop out in chat. So shout out to Stag if you're watching right now, brother. We appreciate you. Hope to see you back in better shape than ever, my dude. But let's go ahead and go around to my compadres here. We'll start with you, Mr. Pong Soul, a.k.a. Steve Harvey of the Gaming Podcast. He's on everything. Did you say like 15 shows in 9 days?
Yeah, this is number 15 and 9. So, yeah.
This is crazy. Steve Harvey.
This might be the 1 week where that actually counts, PTK.
Yeah, for
sure. Yeah, no, great to be here. Another Saturday night. First of all, shout out to Stag, man. Obviously we miss you being on here, and obviously nothing but love, man. So I hope everything gets good, and you take all the time you need, brother. So, but otherwise, awesome to have L Boogie here. First time doing a podcast with her. Fantastic to have you. Thank you for showing up and coming on our show. Yeah, no, it's great to have guests on here. PTK has just been killing it with guests for like months now. So every time I get on here, I got somebody new to follow and appreciate. So no, looking forward to hearing your thoughts. But yeah, no, gentlemen, it's been busy. This is Christmas. It's E3 time. It's the best time to be a gamer, and right now it's just been so exciting. The hype is still flowing through my veins at this very moment, so I am happy to come on show number 15 and talk about it, especially with my brothers, all of you guys here. So let's get into the topics.
Man, let's dive in, man. But we got to go ahead and get to the rest of the guys. Once again, shout out.
Skip them. Let's just get in the top.
shout out, chat. We got mod of the year, mod of the decade at this point. Shonsu been here since day one. Smitty Smith, appreciate the love, support as far as the super chat, man. We appreciate you. Blue, what up, Blue? Everybody else hanging down in the chat as well. If you're watching live, we appreciate the support here. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. How you been doing, my guy? How your week been?
What is up, man? How has my week been? Dude, I can't get enough of everybody talking about Xbox, the E3 that they had, all the great games we got to look forward to. I'm just looking for a cup though, man, because I am trying to find some of the same Kool-Aid that Pong's got going on. Man, dude, how many shows you got? What?
You either born with that or you don't have it. That's yeah.
No, I'm just saying, man, freaking, I don't know where he'd find time for that. I can't find time for that many shows. I wish I could.
All right, man. Well, now, if that's it, man, we appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. Every single Saturday, man. You're awesome. Bring so much energy to the show. Once again, go check him out as well. All the information down in the description below. And last but not least, Fuzzy Belvedere. Appreciate you, bro. Always here. How you been?
Not too bad. Want to welcome back L Boogie to the show. Shout out to Stag. Hope everything goes well. And then, man, it's this past week has been some awesome news for Xbox, and Twitter is a mess. But we'll get into it.
Yeah,
When does that ever change? Wait,
If
what?
we're being 100% honest, that's absolute truth, man. But we appreciate you guys hanging out here once again. Thank you guys for showing support. Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much, man. Retweet, let everybody know we're live. So let's go ahead and get started, man. We do have a poll of the week this week. We have been going without one only because there's been so much big news dropping, but we got one this week, man. So the poll of the week this week was, with Xbox Bethesda show behind us, what game stood out the most during the event? Now we're going to elaborate on this, obviously, because we're on this post E3, layover situation here, but we got 4 options. Well, 3 technically. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, Stalker 2, and then there was an other option. But Halo Infinite won 43%. Forza Horizon 5, 41%, Stalker 2, 12%, other 5%. So obviously Halo won by a smidgen, but let us know, chat, which game out of the Xbox Bethesda event you guys stood out the most for you guys. Let us know, chat, as well as we're going to start with you on this one, L Boogie. We're going to start diving in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, for me, probably the one that blew me out of the water because I wasn't expecting it at all would have to be Redfall.
Nice choice.
I mean, it's like everything that I love. You have shooters, you have magic, you have vampires. I'm all in. And selfishly, we finally have a black girl that looks amazing.
Awesome.
She looks awesome. She looks like a girl I would see on the street. She looks like my sister. I love it. Her hair, nails, everything. I was like, oh my God. So yes.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. You let me know if this comparison is fair. Some people were saying they were getting a Borderlands vibe. Now I wasn't getting a Borderlands vibe, chat. I wasn't getting a Borderlands vibe.
No, because
I get the.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. You guess. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when I think of Borderlands, I think more of cheap humor. So I wasn't getting that from this.
You're right. I just think the tone was different. You said, Borderlands is almost comical.
Right.
It's almost like a satire of itself. So, you're not supposed to take the game seriously at all, and it's super over the top. I didn't really get that from Redfall. So let me know, chat, what you guys think about that Borderlands comparison. Appreciate the breakdown, L Boogie. I do agree. Redfall was extremely impressive. It was left field. I know some people were talking about, was that the Omen? Can we confirm that was Omen, right? That was the code word Omen for that game?
Correct. That is okay. Omen, yes.
So that was the Omen everybody was talking about. Okay, so so that was the announcement we were looking for. But great breakdown, Boogie. We appreciate you here once again. But you said you didn't really, so you don't agree with the Borderlands comparison, correct?
No, because the humor for Borderlands is unique, I think, and I don't think that's what we were getting. That wasn't the vibe I was getting. It's a reach for me.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. I think I can kind of build a case only because you got the 4-player co-op kind of deal going, your magic, guns, powers. But I don't know. We'll see. The Arcanists, they do things a bit different, so we'll see how that goes, man. But let's go ahead and throw this over to Pong. Out of those options, bro, which one did you choose? Once again, chat, let us know as well.
This was very, very hard. This was a good poll, actually. And it was very hard for me. Again, the easy answer is Halo Infinite, which, obviously.
True, facts.
It is. I had to go kind of out of bounds here with this one a little bit because I'm going to include everything that we heard and saw after the show as well as part of the whole presentation, and that's got to be Starfield. You guys know that I've been so excited for this game, that this is my game that I'm looking forward to the most so far that I've heard about or seen this generation. So if it had just been the trailer, I might not have picked it, but I got to include all the interviews, the little video doc that we got afterwards, because we got a whole lot of information. The people out there still saying that we don't know anything about this game, go look at these interviews that Todd and his team did. Go look at the video doc. This is a game of a generation if they put this all together. And again, we don't know that they're going to put this all together, but we really don't know that about any of these games until we get them in our hands. So for me, that was the one that stood out the most, because this is a game that Todd has personally been looking to make for 25 years. 25 years.
He's been fostering the idea.
Right, to get to this point technology-wise and everything else where he could, get his vision the way that he wanted it. And from what they're telling us, they're calling it, quote, Skyrim in space, and the bigger quote, a Han Solo simulator, sign me up 3,000 times over again. I've already put my vacation in for 11/11/22 at work because I am all about this. And if it comes close to what they're talking about, we will have one of the greatest sci-fi games ever created, maybe the greatest, and it will be a game of the generation. So that's why I picked that one.
Is that
Don
the official
Howard.
date?
Yeah, 11/11/2020.
Yeah.
11/11/22,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
That's a hard date too.
Right?
It wasn't a season, fall, spring.
No.
Well, I'm
It
gonna
was a
wait. I'm
hard
still
date.
gonna wait. I'm still gonna wait to take
That's
off. I'm sorry,
You
Paul.
know what? That's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
We
It
may
is.
get a month out, and they're like,
Good. I get you, L Boogie, because I mean, if we look at these big games track record, Cyberpunk was really the last one, and that really doesn't, give a great impression.
right.
Left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So I do understand the apprehension with these big games. So it definitely will. We'll be a bit apprehensive until we get a little bit closer, maybe actually see some gameplay next E3. But Pong, I already knew where you were going. God Howard in the house.
Praise his name. Praise his name.
Absolutely.
He's a beautiful man. Did you see him
Oh
on
my
stage?
God.
Absolutely. And his mini leather jackets. I'm impressed.
Oh, this time he came out in a hoodie. He had the
That's
zip
true.
up.
Good point.
Yeah,
He was
changed it up.
lightweight, summertime.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
exactly.
you, Pong.
oh my God, you guys are hilarious.
So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion, man. What game stood out? Xbox E3, man, Bethesda. What game stood out the most for you?
I'm gonna put all my chips on the table on Slime Rancher 2.
Oh, sweet.
No,
We got a long shot, people. No disrespect. But go ahead.
no. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make a joke. Actually, dude, for me, I couldn't really say that the entire E3 was a great event for me. What game really stood out the most for me, though? Dude, I feel like, let me see. So Redfall really took that. She took that one. What, man, if you really want me to be honest, the games that really stood out to me were the Sea of Thieves thing with Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean. I thought that was a really cool crossover event. What other things? I was really interested in more of the Halo Infinite campaign story, especially the dialogue between the new Cortana and Master Chief. That, as soon as I saw the new Cortana and the dialogue and everything with her, I want to know more. Dude, I mean, I could go on. Contraband. That was the name of the game that I'm actually wanting to know more about. Contraband. That one seems right up my alley with, I guess, playing online with me and my friends. And I don't know. It just comes off as something that seems like it's going to be a real fun, almost Payday-esque game.
I was going to say, I got that or like Mercenary vibes. Remember Mercenary on like...
Oh, I remember Mercenaries. Yes, exactly. And that's where Contraband was the one that I'm actually wanting to know a little bit more about. Are we talking... Because all it was really a CG trailer. Are we going to be able to like partner up? Is this going to have a campaign? Because
it's definitely co-op, so we know it's
definitely going to be co-op for sure. Co-op, because I believe it was also done by Avalanche, which is also with Second Extinction. Another one that really
that's different Avalanche.
No, this is Just Cause.
Yeah, this is Just Cause and Mad Max. They're two different studios. Everybody confuses that. Yep.
Well, another one was Atomic Heart. Invader Gaming has been telling me a lot about that game. I have heard more about Atomic Heart from Invader Gaming than I have put together from any other source. And all of a sudden, this game is appearing on stage on Xbox's E3. So that was another big, awesome one. I've heard a lot of people talking about that one. So if you want to talk about the funniest trailer, though, now that I'm actually scrolling over it, Outer Worlds 2. I was laughing my ass off. Oh my gosh. That one, right? If you want to talk about most memorable, I would have to say Outer Worlds 2 on that one, just because of how they were being so sarcastic. It was just showing what Obsidian is good for. And I was laughing when he's like, over here, we're just going to use an overabundance of lens flares. And then we're going to show the main character, but not show you him. We're just going to show you his silhouette because his character model isn't even done yet.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was a big just satire of itself for sure.
So, but I mean, dude, I could go on all day. We'll let Fuzzy talk about it.
No, it was so many games though. It was that's
Oh.
the thing. It was so consistent all the way through. So
Centurion, just to clear it up, and a lot of people in chat too, because I know a lot of people have questions about this. Second Extinction is the third studio that's underneath Avalanche in a way. They're actually called System Reaction. That's why everybody gets that confused. This is the main Avalanche studio that did Just Cause and Mad Max. Just so we get that confused. A lot of people get that confused, and I totally understand why. It is part of their group.
But that's the only thing. So there is the theoretical that they would be sharing technology in a way. Air quotation.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Yes, it's just a totally different team. That's all.
I just want to see them possibly take something on the scale of like, some like, because you definitely got that Latin America feel from at least watching the CG trailer of Contraband and Just Cause. At least what I've played, definitely a very Latin American feeling game. And I just really think that would be like a very awesome premise background for a game for some friends to get together and plan a heist, plan a getaway. And it almost seems like a good situation to take some of the technology from Second Extinction, which is if you really procedurally generated objectives and stuff like that change and the game evolves. And that's where I really see the game almost going.
Yeah, we'll see. It's supposedly set on a tropical island. Again, all this information is early, but it's going to be more based on the car and vehicles than it is actually with the gunplay. So it's not going to be like a first-person shooter per se. You're going to be spending a lot more time in the vehicles, and that's going to be the main gameplay. Now that could change, but that was the initial.
We're going to be playing Fast and the Furious 6.
Mad Max. Think Mad Max because the vehicle play in Mad Max was fantastic.
Yeah.
Any trailer with Steely Dan do it again automatically gets a 10 out of 10. So we're good. I understand.
Great music choice. No, I 100% agree. 100%. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your quick opinion on the first topic. We got poll of the week, man. So which one was your option? Would you choose and why?
Oh God, I put him to sleep.
No, he's muted.
He's muted. He's busy racing right now or taking pictures in Forza.
All right, so there he is.
Had it on mute. No, but you know which one I picked. It was definitely Horizon. Forza Horizon 5 was my the game that stood out the most to me. I mean, I was kind of skeptical. Well, not really skeptical that it was coming out, but I was kind of wondering what would actually be announced, and not hearing anything from them other than some updates on Horizon 4 was like, hopefully it's there. And sure enough, they showed, and man, what a beautiful game. Like it goes from looking like you're looking at like real like video in like Mexico, and then it's like, oh, the cars start flying by. So yeah, Horizon 5 was my standout, but there were so many good games. Like Redfall definitely was another standout. Contraband, I want to hear more about, but I kind of get the feeling it's going to be almost like an Uncharted and Tomb Raider with I guess a heist plan or an escape plan type of thing, which I'm all for. I definitely want to see something from the Avalanche group, considering if they could have just added multiplayer to Just Cause 3 or Just Cause 4, that would have been a nice little add-on. I know there was like mods for PC, but nothing as far as for console.
And their games have always been really ambitious. Just Cause have always been quality games, but they've never quite worked as what they've been advertised. I guess that's been the big Achilles heel. They've had
too much stuff and it starts stuttering type of thing. So they definitely can pack a world, and I think they have the record other than like space games for like biggest map for like Just Cause 3 and 4. So
yeah, huge maps for sure. They do that great.
But yeah, Horizon 5, that's my go-to. That was the standout. A lot of other excellent games, but me being a car enthusiast, that was a direct call for me.
All right. Well, no, I mean, I obviously knew that was a rhetorical question. I knew exactly where you were going with that one, Chad. So we saw that coming. So that wasn't even, I shouldn't even ask you this topic, but either way. So I'm going to go with my choice. My choice is actually Halo Infinite. And the reason being not because of the legacy of Halo Infinite, just because I didn't know what I expected from Halo until I saw what they showed us. that gave me I didn't have it really. I thought last year the game, obviously we some of us thought the gameplay could have been improved, based on where the game was at and what we kind of expected at that point. But they went well beyond what I even could have even thought of at that point, just for me personally. So Halo, I think, was a standout. Now I would have liked to see more campaign just to kind of see where that was going, see the gameplay. But based on the multiplayer, the campaign is going to look fantastic. The campaign is going to look amazing. And the open world and just the different objectives, and Halo is taking on a different form and it's going in a great direction. And I'm really excited for that. So Halo was my choice. So chat, let us know which one did you choose in that particular situation. But we keeping this thing moving, man. So chat, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us every single Saturday, man. We got L Boogie, GWG. Appreciate you guys. All of that's down in the chat. So don't forget about it. Hit that like button as well. So we're moving on to the next topic. And we're starting with you again on this one, Boogie. Starting with you on. So we're talking about the overall opinion in E3 and Summer Games Fest. So what do you think of the events as a whole? We're not even talking about, well, I guess the games are the events, but what do you just think about the format? I know a lot of people were very underwhelmed with a majority of the shows, but I don't know if you could blame the ESA or even Jeff Keighley and Summer Games Fest for what these companies had to show.
I mean, you can't blame them for what they had to show, but I don't know. I feel like Summer Games Fest was like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing? Is there really a need for this extra content? Like, I don't know. Why don't we just have E3, the regular E3? I feel like he's nudging in. Like last year, different because they just canceled it. They didn't really have anything, but this year they were having something. So it was just like, it was time for you to sit down. But as far as regular E3, it was a little lackluster for me. And I don't know if that's just because, like we said, the companies just don't have a lot to show. But as far as Microsoft and Xbox, they knocked it out of the park, even though like gaming media act like they didn't exist, which is crazy. But I think they knocked it out of the park. Nintendo was such a womp. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to announce Metroid 5 and you haven't done the last one? Like, I don't get that. Like, how is that happening? Other than that, it's like we're playing the same Wii U games. I don't know. Did you? I feel like I'm still talking. No? Yes?
I can hear her.
I can hear her.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Nintendo, I for sure thought they were going to show something I liked. I'm just not a fan of Breath of the Wild because I hate the breaking weapons. I'm so sorry to those who love that game.
Yeah,
like,
they let a lot of Nintendo fans down too, because I saw a lot of memes about the breakable weapons. Can we please forever banish those things? It's such a ridiculous idea, especially for a fantasy game. Like,
I know. On. Because it would break and like you wouldn't even have anything around you. Like, okay, so now I gotta like ride 2 hours away to go get materials, and it takes you out of the game, So hopefully they don't do that. Like Sony not being there is just like, what do you guys have to show? Because they did their little snippet, I think it was a couple weeks before. And I guarantee you, Horizon Forbidden West is not coming out this year.
What?
So those of you who are excited, guarantee.
You hear that, chat?
Guarantee. They had no date. Every other time they showed it, it has had a date. This time it did not have a date. I guarantee you it will not be 2021.
Well, I mean, Herman Helst did come out and say that he was not sure. He couldn't really say definitively. Now, I'm not speaking for that man because I don't know. But he was unsure at the time when they asked him. Last we heard, and that's from the horse's mouth. That's from the guy who signs the checks.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, all signs point 2022. But yeah, so pretty much Game Pass is the winner of E3. That's how I feel about it.
You know what? I can't even argue. Let's talk about that a little bit, Chad. Where you going with that, Boogie?
I mean, we're getting 6 games in 6 months, the next 6 months to hold us over for the rest of the year. We're getting, which Forza Horizon, I mean, we know Horizon will be coming at some point, but to really show it at E3 and be like, hey, in a couple of months, guess what? You got it. I mean, that was pretty cool, and it looks amazing. I mean, even without the regular Forza Horizon 5, stuff, the regular stuff that we see. Those new modes that they showed, which are like Mario Kart, is what really had me pulled in. Because then I'm like, okay, now I have different stuff to do. I get to like throw my car into a bunch of,
And you can freestyle. You can build
stuff.
your own. It's like a forge.
Well, I won't be the one building. I'm gonna let all those creative folks build, and then I'll play their maps.
And I hope they let them do that, and I hope they let people put their game modes up so other people can play them as well.
Oh, they
mean,
will.
yeah. I hope that was never not an option.
No, absolutely. It seems obvious. Now,
they'll have like share codes, kind of like what they do now for some of the races that you can create now.
Right.
You'll get like a 6-digit or maybe a 9-digit code, and it's like they can put that code on Twitter or Instagram, click it, and cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, that looks super fun. So you get sorry, I'm gonna let you guys talk, but you get Flight Simulator. What is it, July? We get Forza Horizon 5. You have Halo, which I guess is gonna be December.
Psychonauts 2 is August.
Psychonauts 2. I can't remember all of them now.
We get Back for Blood in
Back for Blood. Yeah.
Shredders, The Gunk, Scorn, Hades, Among Us.
I mean, the 6 though were like big games that were coming, but then beyond those, you have everything else that you were just naming off on. So, like I said, if you have Game Pass, you're like, I'm sitting pretty.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, people. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. That's good business. No, but appreciate your breakdown on that point, Boogie. Once again, shout out GWG, man. Shout out you, Boogie, as well. Appreciate you hanging out here, giving a good insight. As always. So let's throw this over to Fuzz. I know you were talking a little bit about, so what overall, as far as the event, like I said, we can't control the games. I got to be fair. We can't control minus knowing that, they don't have any idea what the studios are showing until they see it. So outside of that, what do you think about the overall events?
Well, we had talked about it before with the summer games. Like after about an hour and a half in, I kind of dozed off.
Yeah, you did.
Had to go back and watch the Elden Ring, trailer that he held hostage until the end. Overall, I wasn't as much of a fan of the Summer Games Fest. Although give Keeley another year, he'll probably make it a bit better. He always tweaks things and tries to improve like he does with the Video Game Awards, whether you are a fan of his or not. But overall for E3, outside of the Xbox conference, there was only a handful of things from the PC and like Future Games conference that stood out. But a lot of those games are going to wind up coming to console at some point. But I would say overall, the big standout to me was just Xbox. The pacing on how they did their initial show on Sunday, just game after game after game, brief walkout, brief speech, game, and then, it was, I guess, their best paced show, at least in my opinion, as far as getting, holding the fans' attention, keeping them excited throughout the entire show. Even if you're not a fan of one or two of the games, there was at least a handful of games in there that would probably appeal to you throughout the show. And it was just awesomely paced. They definitely, sent that message home, like Boogie was saying. You have 27 out of those 30 games going straight into Game Pass day and date. So, and 6 of them, at least 6 big ones, are going to be before the end of this year. So you can't complain in that regard. And then for them to do the split show like that Thursday, which we've always kind of talked about how Xbox definitely likes to show the developers and do interviews, which is great. But when you're there for the main course of the games, it just seems like it sometimes drags on a little bit longer than it should. But Paris did an awesome job on Thursday doing like the behind the scenes or a peek behind the curtain type of deal, talking with the devs. A little bit more info was shared. We got to see some more about Hellblade's, progress.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we even got to see the return of Design Labs, which I've already got my first controller, first one since the return, already on order, and probably will order another one after I get that one. But
the website was running slow for that. It was everybody ran to to the design lab, and I'm seeing custom color controllers, every color you can possibly imagine on Twitter.
Well, I went with the boring one. Like the first design labs, I just made like a gray and blue one, or like a gray and black with like the blue thumbsticks and stuff. And then I broke that playing Cuphead, so that's kind of just sitting in the box right now. So I've redone that one, but with black thumbsticks this go around. Just a muted tone, gray buttons with the black lettering and stuff. And then I'll go with a few colors afterwards. Like the wife was going to want one in orange. I know one of my boys is going to want one in green or in blue, and the other one's going to want one in red. So there's going to be a rainbow of controllers ordered between now and the holidays. But outside of that, overall, I can't wait until they go back to in person, because it will be my first experience to go to an E3 in person. But for a digital only conference, this was way better than what we had last summer. And definitely looking forward to what they have next year. But pretty pleased with Xbox's show. Devolver Digital was another one, was pretty decent.
They did really good.
Yeah, and some of the other ones, it was kind of like they may have stumbled here and there. I'm still looking forward to Far Cry 6. That was mainly shown, I think, on Xbox's stage, but I think they talked about it briefly in Ubisoft's, and Ubisoft, they just need to make a freaking Splinter Cell, but that's a whole nother story. But outside of that, overall, happy with what I saw this year compared to last year, and looking forward to these games between now and the holidays.
No, listen. It was a overall. I saw people disappointed, and this is another thing too. We're gonna nip this at the bud real quick. Chat. Can I speak for a little bit here? Jeff, I understand he didn't have the best relationship with the ESA, but he did spend quite a bit of time taking shots at them rather than worrying about his own show. Because I mean, let's not act like his show was so much better than theirs. I mean, overall, I think everybody did a great job as far as best as they could, as far as what the developers were able to bring to the show and how everything was able to get produced. And this is not to devalue what even Jeff's expertise and skill, but I mean, we can't throw stones in a glass house, Jeff. But anyway, that's my rant over. Go ahead, Fuzz. I don't want to cut you off there.
No, I'm done. It's someone else's turn.
All right, go ahead, Centurion, man.
Man, I kind of gave up on Summer Game Fest when Jeff Keighley decided to rant. I don't even want to say rant. I don't even know what he was doing, if you want my honest opinion, but he droned on for 45 minutes before the Ubisoft forward. And that's when I realized I like Jeff Keighley better at a live event on stage, when he doesn't have total control of the camera and cannot sit in front of it and talk about whatever he wants for 45 minutes. That I'm going to just be upfront. I loved what E3 did. I'm still catching up on some of the other stuff, but I've been listening to it in the background as I work. I've never exactly been the biggest Jeff Keighley fan, but I would never say he doesn't have a place. But when it comes to the events themselves, I was been happy with what I received so far. I'll be truthful, because of the whole thing with the Ubisoft Connect or the Ubisoft Forward, whatever it is. I've been kind of getting a little bit more of my info from the websites covering the event. I've been kind of just looking at what games have interested me and kind of just filtering out the ones that haven't been. I would have to say, for me, God, the one game that I would say outside of Xbox's event that really leapt forward for me, because I don't know why I'm a sucker for Rainbow Six, but I am looking forward to Rainbow Six Extraction.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
The sci-fi one that, I mean, did any of you ever get to play the beta? I mean, not the beta, the event for Rainbow Six that's built off of?
No, I'm not a big Rainbow Six guy.
So that game can get very chaotic, and for whatever reason, they wanted to introduce this idea that a satellite crashes in New Mexico, which is kind of funny that it almost borrows from the story of the Andromeda strain, which is a satellite crashes into New Mexico and there's a virus, and instead of people dying this time, they turn into these weird creatures. And it got really intense, and we're not talking just sitting around horde mode. There's objectives. Like, you got to extract somebody that was a helicopter pilot who's injured, and you got to get in there and you got to protect the person who's actually trying to medicate the person and get the person going, and you got to extract them out, and you'll have other objectives that took place, and it got really crazy. So I'm really looking forward to this new Rainbow Six. I mean, it doesn't, if I don't know if any of you ever played Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I play a lot with a lady, and I actually played the quarantine event you're talking about.
Okay, cool then. So, with Rainbow Six, if you don't cooperate and learn to work together with the people you're with, whether they're just totally random or friends you got together to play this game, you could get owned real quick by a very coordinated team.
Oh yeah, like I don't even like playing unless I have at least 3 people I know.
Dude, you excuse my French, but shit's gonna go down after it. The match has started and you're not hearing one sound, and you're just like, oh my god, these dudes are gonna breach this room all together. All hell is gonna break loose in just a moment. It because it's just too silent.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny. That's hilarious. So no, I don't play much of that, but once again, as far as the shows go overall, I think people are fairly excited about, as much as we possibly can be about what we saw. So, Pong, I want to make sure I got to you, brother.
Yeah, no. Everybody made some really great points here. For me, I look at it's really hard because I was looking forward to the content, all the fluff and the in-between stuff. Really doesn't obviously interest me, and the less fluff, the better. So obviously, Summer Games Fest, again, Jeff's got a spot. He does do some really good things for the industry. So I'm never going to take that away from the guy, no matter what personal feelings may be there.
I think you guys didn't like what I had to say.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I wanted to second you. You when you were like, he needs to sit down. I was like, he did sit down. He sat down in front of the camera.
Right. Yeah.
No, I think, again, no, that's not a problem either. And I can understand why people feel that way. Again, what he did with the VGAs last year was nothing short of phenomenal. I thought personally, there was very little fluff because he didn't have a choice in the matter, and that's the problem. This year, he felt a little bit safer. Obviously, with everything going on in the world and things kind of opening up a little bit more, all of a sudden we got Hollywood Jeff Keighley back again. And for me, he's better when he's under control because then he really is good at what he does presentation-wise, and his team is very good at putting on a production. But I think this year, obviously, did we need Weezer there? Absolutely not.
No, we did not.
Hello,
1996.
Yo,
yeah.
What is going on? And it's the other girl too. I'm like, who asked for this?
I played video games to feel like a kid.
What? No, wasn't her music part of a game?
Yes,
though?
Sable.
So that was
Sable.
understandable. I mean,
I was okay with that.
No,
Yeah.
I am
I
not
felt
okay
old when
with
I
that.
saw Weezer on stage. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, no, and I like Weezer. So, but for me, it was just pointless. And to have a sit-down friendly chat with your buddy Kojima for 20 minutes to have him announce
everything he does.
Right.
Here comes Kojima.
Correct.
Like,
So from that point of view, yes, no, the Summer's Game Fest was not, was not hitting with me. But when you look at the content that was there, actually there was some really good stuff there. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I like that. Tiny Tina is my favorite character out of the Borderlands series. Borderlands 3 did not hit with me, but Borderlands 2 is one of my favorite all-time games. So therefore, I'm looking forward to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So that was great to see. And then Blood Hunt, set in the Vampire the Masquerade universe, looked really good. Looked really good. A lot of people forgot about some of the games that kind of showed in there, and so Blood Hunt caught my attention. To see Tales of Arise show up and actually show off the way it did, really hit home. I love what Bandai Namco.
A lot of people are excited about that.
Oh man, I love what Bandai Namco is doing right now. There's a lot. I had previous conversations in other shows about this, but a lot of Eastern development teams, Japanese development teams aren't catching up with the times. And we kind of saw that during the Square Enix show, right? There's some teams that are behind that seem to still think we're in the 360 PS3 era, and we are not. But Bandai Namco, what they're doing with Scarlet Nexus and then Tales of Arise later this year, man, they are on fire. I love it. I love to see that. And then the other one was Planet of Lana. that 2D one with
Oh,
the kid
yeah,
and his
yeah,
little
yeah.
cat. Gorgeous looking game. I really am looking forward to that. That's coming out in PC and Xbox next year, but I really thought that showed well and really caught my interest. And then of course I'm happy for everybody who got their Elden Ring. Again, not a game for me. I'm not a Souls fan, but I'm happy that it's finally here and that it finally got shown so everybody can stop talking about it all the time, right? So that's fantastic, and I'm happy for everybody there. As far as E3 goes, yeah, there was a lot of people that probably didn't need to show up at E3 this year. It's still good to see them supporting E3, but they didn't have a whole lot to bring and offer. And again, without Xbox, it really would have been a blah kind of E3. But there was some other stuff there. Fuzzy already hit on it. Devolver, I was going to bring that up. Devolver knocked it out of the park again.
Yeah, they did great.
Devolver's fantastic. That Trek to Yomi game. Oh my God, that 2.5. Oh my God, it looks like Inside Limbo and a Samurai. Yeah, Death's Door, of course, which everybody's already been excited about. Even Wizard with a Gun. Looked fun. Oh my God. So they brought it. They definitely captured the E3 spirit. I was happy to see it because I always expect big things out of them, and they constantly deliver, for me at least. I could not stop laughing. I had the privilege of watching the show with the Indie Gamer and podcasting live reaction. Fantastic show. And then of course, Ubisoft showed up. They had some stuff. I am interested in Extraction for sure. I think it showed well. Again, how much new it's going to bring, I don't know, but they are definitely using what they learned out of Rainbow Six Siege. And even though I'm not a Siege player, you get me into a co-op multiplayer where I'm fighting aliens and I've got objectives to do. Count me in. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm about it. Avatar, I'm an Avatar fan. I will freely admit that. So that has me interested. However, Massive doing a first person game when they're, used to doing the Division third person type games. I'm interested to see how it turns out and how it plays. The world looks gorgeous.
I think. Isn't that engine new?
Yeah, Snowdrop. They're using the upgraded Snowdrop. Yeah, yep, exactly. So it looks gorgeous. So I'm definitely okay with that. And so they had a couple things in there, and they had a decent showing. And then Xbox obviously blew everybody out of the water. They did exactly what they've been preparing to do all these years that we've been kind of waiting and that they've been building for this moment. They knocked it out of the park. Okay. They couldn't have done it any better. You saw a lot of Bethesda's influence on this show. You could see that in the pacing aspect of it. And I think how they laid the show out was definitely heavily influenced by Bethesda, because they are masters at doing these kinds of things. But how they presented everything was near perfect. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. I think it could compete. A lot of people are saying, well, yeah, it was a great show, but it was in a down E3 year. I think you could put this up against any of the E3 shows and still say that it was right there with them. Stalker 2 came out and blew people's minds. That's, considered indie game, GSC Game World, the devs behind that I was a Stalker 2. I've been a Stalker fan. I've been waiting on Stalker 2. I had high expectations, but what they showed went beyond that, really looking next generation. Those lighting effects, everything about it just said, this is next generation. I love what they did.
Surprised a lot of people. A lot of people are looking at that game now. They're looking at that franchise, going back and even trying to play the first one. I've seen as well on Twitter.
Right, absolutely. Of course, I already talked about Starfield, so that, of course, did its thing, did exactly what it needed to do. Halo came out and just, again, as a casual Halo fan, somebody who likes the franchise, just not, I'm not a fanatic about it. I don't play thousands of hours of multiplayer. I still got goosebumps. It felt like old Bungie Halo, and that, of course, is probably Joseph Staten. Obviously, he got that group focus. There's 1,000 hardworking devs over there who are passionate, but they didn't seem to have the focus necessary. And Joseph Staten came in and seemed to have given them some kind of direction. And those edits that they made in the multiplayer were completely 100% Bungie edits. Those were Bungie edits all the way. That was the old stuff that we used to see from them all the time. So that was Joseph Staten. So that was awesome. Forza Horizon 5. Again, what else can you say when you think that you're looking at a picture or a video and all of a sudden there's cars driving through it and all of a sudden that's actually the game? Again, mic drop moment for Playground. Those guys are a rising development house, if they pull off Fable the same way that they're pulling off Forza Horizon, or even a better, because this is not even the
It's not even the same engine. Yeah.
No, if they can pull off Fable, you're talking about having an Insomniac, a Naughty Dog type level team on your hands that can constantly put out hit after hit, game of the year contenders. It deserves the award that it got. So, that was absolutely incredible to see Atomic Heart there come out of the blue, replaced that indie game, that 2.5 D 8-bit style game that everybody thought kind of when you first saw it was Last Night finally showing up. That game came out of nowhere and blew people's minds. I'm looking forward to that as well. And then to end it with Redfall. That was beautifully done. I don't think that was their original plan. I think they wanted to show Elden Ring at some point in there. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. But I think to end it with Redfall, give us something to look forward to next summer with a great CGI trailer that really gave us a glimpse as to what they're going for, with awesome characters all around. Again, there was diversity in this lineup, and it was game after game after game, something for everybody in there. That we could see. Battlefield multiplayer showed off beautifully. Again, silenced a lot of people who were wondering if it was going to be worth $70 without a single player campaign. That looked absolutely spectacular. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. So that definitely hit home. I think Nintendo, what they did, definitely, again, what are you going to do with Nintendo? I respect the hustle. They're not for me anymore. They're not, they don't make games for me anymore, but they did give some of their fans what they've been waiting for. Metroid Dread was announced, something like 15, 19 years ago, whatever it was, something crazy. People thought it was vaporware, and all of a sudden it shows up. Yeah. Is it a 2D platformer? Yeah. It is. Is it what everybody wanted?
It's not quite Metroid Prime 4.
Prime 4, right, exactly. But is it going to give people something to be excited about? Yeah, if you look at Nintendo Twitter, everybody's loving it. There was people claiming they had a better show than Xbox, which, okay, all right. Anyways, but the point being is, this is what Nintendo fans are used to. This is what Nintendo fans expect, and this is what Nintendo fans get from Nintendo. And they're all happy because they continue to go spend, $60 for Mario Party again. So again, that's kind of the deal. So again, I think Nintendo did enough. Were they a heavyweight? Did they show off? No, absolutely not. But did they do enough for their fan base? Yeah, they gave their fan base some of what they kind of wanted. Again, it is what it is with Nintendo. Other than that, again, overall, I thought the show was great. Deep diving into some of the Sunday stuff. I think Fuzzy touched on a little bit the PC game show, but the future game show, a lot of people slept on the future game show. And like Fuzzy mentioned, if you go in there and actually watch it, there was actually a lot of cool games coming for console. I think overall, what this showed us is just a tip of the iceberg of the type of content we can expect to see going forward. This generation is going to be insane. We are getting games across all spectrums for all people, and there's really some creative stuff happening out there. Yeah, we're still getting some of the same kind of things we've had, but there's a lot of people expanding out. And I think that goes to what we always talk about here, PTK, is that this is, for me, I call it the golden age of gaming. There's more people, more talent, more money in this industry than at any time in history. And even if this year wasn't fully up to par, you're starting to see those first ripples of what that means. And I think that come 2022, 2023, we're going to be going, wow. And we thought 2021 was pretty good from Xbox. Just wait. I think we're going to see more and more and more as we go through this generation, which is fantastic. The gamers definitely won with this E3. The competition is back. The competition is fierce right now for our dollars, for our engagement and our time. And I think that's going to just benefit gamers overall as all these companies fight for it.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and move on. We're talking a little bit about Halo Infinite, man. So Halo Infinite was obviously a big draw on the show. A lot of us had questions. A lot of people had questions as far as media. A lot of people on the other side of the fence had questions, obviously based off of the last showing of Halo. A lot of people were on the fence with the showing. Was it good? Was it bad? A lot of us here, felt different ways about that, but we're going to go ahead and just dive into Halo and just did it exceed expectations even for you? Like I told you guys before the show, well, not before the show, but as we open the show, I didn't know what Halo I wanted until I saw it. And it made sense to me once I saw it that that's exactly the Halo that I wanted. So we're gonna start with you on this one once again, Boogie. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Appreciate everybody in chat, man. Let us know what a Halo. What did it exceed expectations for you as well, chat? But we're gonna start with you on this one, Boogie.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed what I saw. Definitely looked way better than the last one. The last bit that they showed where people tore it apart and everything. I haven't really seen people tearing this one apart, so that's always good. I mean, I don't have the nostalgia that other people have with Halo, because when I was younger and I tried to play Halo, I sucked, so I stopped playing. But so I played a little bit of the Master Chief Collection, and I played 5. And then I played like Halo Wars and stuff like that. And I actually signed up. I don't know if you guys know, but you can sign up for the beta. It is closed, but you can sign up for the Halo Infinite stuff. But the multiplayer looked pretty good. I was a little disappointed that it was in engine and not like gameplay. But I know that the cinematics we saw, that's what you're going to see like on your Series X. That's how it's going to look. And it looks good. And I'm ready to see what Master Chief got. Like, let's go. It's time to get to work again.
No, I feel you. So I was pleasantly surprised, and it was awesome for me. It gave me, man, I got chills. I shed a bit of my eyes got watery a little bit as far as,
you went from a shed of tear to my eyes watered.
Yeah, I'm dead. No, so I'm Halo day one. So I'm one of the people that's been there from day one who really am kind of a super big fan. Obviously, Chief is on my Mount Rushmore if I had to, game characters, whatever have you. But it felt like it was new and old at the same time. I couldn't quite get the feeling, but I love the balance between the two. And that's kind of what I wanted to see. I would have loved to see some gameplay from the actual campaign. I feel like we're going to get that at some point. We do have other events between now and obviously the release of Halo.
Right, Gamescom is just
is around the corner. Maybe a XO event, something like that. Maybe even a VGAs. I don't know when. We didn't get a release date, a hard date for Halo
yet.
It
just said holiday.
It said holiday. So that's a bit precarious as well. Some people are kind of hung up on that, which is understandable. But I'm of the faith and of the mind that they got this thing where it needs to be. They obviously, we saw that with the overview. They did a deeper dive video afterwards, and it broke down a lot of the things they've been doing, from the multiplayer to the campaign to just all these little cool components, and that got me extremely excited about the game again. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Just get your quick opinion on, as far as your expectation. What did it show for you?
Yeah. As someone that doesn't normally play Halo, I mean, I'll be honest, the multiplayer showed almost as well, if not better, in my opinion, than for Battlefield 2042. Just some of the things as far as the vehicle damage and vehicle drops and things like that, as well as just being able to deflect shots and stuff. A lot of that stood out as far as being, things that I would like to see in the multiplayer. I know I'm going to probably spend a lot more time practicing in with the bots and stuff in the training aspect, and then trying to figure out what AI I'm going to pick. But overall, I think it did what it needed to do to at least put a lot of questions to bed. I mean, sure, we didn't see full campaign play, but I mean, we at least got to see a cutscene that's, I would say, probably in engine or pretty close to what the gameplay is going to look like. It's just a matter of I don't know what the date is when it's going to release. So that's probably the only unanswered question at this point in time. But I think they're trying to situate it where sometime between September and December, it's going to be a nice surprise drop or a pretty large drop as far as for before the holidays, at least, or during the holidays. But people before were talking about, it's got to do this, it's got to do that. I would say, based on some of the assumptions before, I think it's cured cancer and figured out a solution to homelessness and hunger in the world. I mean, it honestly showed well, like, I know we don't do midnight openings or midnight releases or anything like that, but I would say this puts it back on par with the excitement that people were, lining up around 3 blocks, at midnight for like Halo 3 and stuff like that. So I think it's getting close to that level again. I know a lot of people were probably burned out of it, but I think it showed well enough to kind of bring a lot more people
Being
back
free
into
to
the
play
fold.
helps as well.
Yeah. So it's I think right now it just comes down to, hey, it's going to release, at this date. And then I think that's when, all the Azure servers go crashing down because of
It's going to be
the
insane.
amount of demand or something. But yeah, it definitely showed strong in my opinion.
So quick question, chat. This is for you, chat only. Over under on Halo, as far as outperforming, as far as like user base than COD and Battlefield 2042. Over under, as far as Halo doing as well, as far as on the user base, as far as average number of players. Not that it matters, because I think all three we're all going to have time for all three. We're going to make time for all three, and a lot of people are going to be splitting between the three anyway. So I think it'll be close. I think the free to play aspect puts it over the top. I mean, COD is free to play as well. But I think people are just being, they want it. It's a certain balance, because we used to talk about there's a three, that's the triad: COD, Battlefield, and Halo. For the longest, that was it as far as premier shooters. So I'd like to see that triangle go back to where it was, So I think that happens this time around. So, but I don't. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the big thing that I think will be a nice little advantage is the seasons don't expire. I mean.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Look at it this way: if you are already committed to Warzone, or you're already committed to Battlefield 2042, you can play to your heart's content on that, and then return back to Halo and know that you can still get some of those skins or some of the armor pieces that you may have missed out on when you were playing Battlefield or COD. So I think that's going to be a nice added bonus to some extent, but. Yeah, I think if it's true about the whole Vanguard thing, and if that's what they're moving Warzone to be, where it's going to be more of like a World War II or post World War II time frame, I think they're going to start losing players to Battlefield, and then people will probably be jumping back and forth between Battlefield and Halo, or at least those that have a PC or an Xbox. So.
Okay. No. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. Get your quick opinion on just where you're at on all of this, brother, as far as this Halo expectations, and did it do what it should have done for you?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit when I was just going through my list. With Halo, the king is back. If anything, if what we saw is any indication of what the final product is going to be, right? And we assume that it's going to be, so let's just go underneath the assumption that everything we saw is going to be representative of what the final product's going to be like. And again, we don't know what the single player for sure is going to look and feel like, since they're trying something new with that, going for this 10-year plan. But let's just assume the multiplayer is where it's at. The king is back. Okay, and period, and all these people that have been downplaying Halo because there's been, with 4 and 5, it just didn't quite hit the way that it used to, and everybody kind of assumed, that it kind of has died off. When you look at the numbers, that's simply not true. Even during the rougher times, the little dips that they had, and now with where we're at with streaming, with where we're at with just social media in general at this point. Halo Infinite's going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. The multiplayer probably will be the most streamed game when it first launches out there. And we haven't even touched on Forge. If they do what we think they're doing with Forge, and some of the little hints that we've gotten that they're going to make this Forge the biggest and baddest and most extensive Forge of all time, the things that
that's
people
going to be interesting.
The things that people are going to create, how soon, how many days, maybe how many hours is it going to take somebody to walk into Forge, create a battle royale mode, and that's all you're going to be seeing all over streamers is battle royale. And how long before that becomes an official mode? Because we know that's a big part of Halo, especially in the past, was what the community built, becoming official modes within the game. That's going to happen all over again, times 100, because now you got free to play. So you're going to have more people stepping into this and saying, hey, you know what? No risk. I can walk into Halo, check it out. And if it is as good as what is being advertised as right now, that means you're going to have that many more people in that world and that many more people talking about it, that much more mind share going out. So I could see easily by the beginning of 2022, no matter whether it's Battlefield, no matter what's Call of Duty, no matter what else comes out, that Halo definitely is the biggest game going at that moment. Because again, how many kids are going to jump if they create a sweet battle royale mode? How many people are going to jump from the Fortnite, from the Apex Legends, which they've been playing nonstop, from the Warzone at Call of Duty, which people have been playing nonstop, to go try something new in a different world over at Halo Infinite? That is certainly something that I could see happening, and definitely something that will put Halo back. People will have to stand up and take notice and say, okay, maybe we were already burying Halo way too soon. Halo still got it. I definitely think it showed out. It showed out exactly what they needed to do. I was happy. I think we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago, PTK, or maybe a month ago when we were talking about Halo. But when they decided to show the multiplayer instead of the single player, there's a lot of people going, why would you do that? I want to see more of the single player. I need to know more about the campaign. We want to see all the improvements that you guys have made. I don't disagree with that, but I also stated that the multiplayer was going to be the strength no matter what at the end of the day.
Absolutely. That's what's going to carry Halo for the next however many years.
Yeah. And if they got a 10-year plan, they need that multiplayer to hit. And they played up to that strength. They said they had the multiplayer ready to go last year. All they've been doing now is polishing that multiplayer up nonstop, right? Getting the balancing right, getting the weapons to feel right, getting all the vehicles to look and drive right? So that's what they've been doing. And it showed. They played to their strength, and look what happened. The critics were silenced. You don't see anybody posting zoom shots online. You don't see anybody.
I haven't seen any of that.
At the same time, they just didn't talk about it either, don't you think?
I think no, because I guess with the extreme community that we have, I'm talking about the really extreme parts of the community here. They're always going to be looking for something. And when it comes to Halo has the biggest target. So we know if there was something to look at or something to find, they would have done it already, even if it was the smallest thing in the world, right? They were zooming in on trees, for God's sakes, against the mountains, right? We know that there's people out there that always hunt that stuff down, right? And then there's people that amplify it. So I think that it just goes to show that it kind of silenced everybody from that front, because if you take any of those screenshots, if you stop that video at any point and take a screenshot, that thing looks gorgeous. The details that you can see that they've put in, it's incredible how far down they've gotten on the armor, on the weapons, on the lighting, on everything. And again, we haven't even talked about the physics. The slip space engine is showing off the physics, the weight to the Spartans at this point. All of that stuff shows up in that video, and I just think that it's so impressive. I just don't think anybody's got anything to say about it negatively right now, and that's a huge testament to 343, Joseph Staten's leadership, and the rest of the team just getting together and focusing on what they needed to do, and it showed off.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100% for sure. So one thing else I want to mention too about Halo Infinite is that I think the key thing too is it's because I feel like everybody's been playing Call of Duty. I feel like Battlefield and Halo are both going to benefit from that almost nostalgia, like playing it for the first time again feeling for a lot of people. So I think they're both going to benefit from that, especially if they hit the mark. Obviously, that remains to be seen if both are going to hit the mark like we think they will. So either way, we're going to throw this over to Centurion, make sure we get everybody. You got any opinions, man, on Halo? Did it exceed expectations for you?
Oh, Halo, definitely. It exceeded my expectations. I was looking forward to what they were going to put out for the information we were going to get. How deep were they going to get? And I was surprised on how much we really did get. Obviously, there was no actual campaign other than the CG trailer or the in-game trailer that I'm going to be upfront. That whole conversation between Cortana and Master Chief, I want to know more. I said that earlier. I actually kind of almost felt like back in the Halo 3 days. I remember standing in the lines waiting for Halo 3 to come out, and all of us go home and meet up with each other on Xbox Live and just play Halo until it was time to go to work because you didn't go to sleep. So when I saw the multiplayer campaign and what they plan to do with that, free to play, all the good stuff that Pong has talked about, Fuzzy's talked about, Boogie's, everybody's talked about. I am getting those vibes again, those Halo 3 vibes. At least for me, it was Halo 3. I know for other people, it was probably
it was
Halo
3
2.
for me as well. I felt 3.
Yeah, I remember, like, I feel like sometimes they should do that. Remember back on Halo 3, the map that would show you how many people were playing across the world?
Oh, yeah. That
and
live player screen.
That map was just nothing but a white blur.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. That was like the first night. You had like millions of people on playing the game. It was insane.
Oh, yeah, man. And I just feel like I'm getting those vibes again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to probably grind out that campaign as fast as I can. And then I'm going to start being on the hunt for some friends to want to play the multiplayer. I missed the boat on Halo 5. By the time I played it, everybody had made up their mind on the whole lock situation and what was going on there. So I pretty much missed the boat on Halo 5. I was looking forward to getting into the multiplayer, and I had nobody really to kind of play with. So now I'm hoping with Halo Infinite, that's going to be a whole different situation.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. For sure. Absolutely. I think we're all extremely excited about Halo Infinite and where the team's going. Kudos to 343 because they took a lot of shit. They took a lot of shit for the last 12 months. People talked about them getting rid of it. Xbox take Halo away from 343. They don't deserve to work on it. Like all kind of nonsense. And they really showed up with a lot. They had a lot of pressure on them. I mean, they probably had the most pressure out of any studio, any first party studio at Xbox, as far as this E3 goes, to be honest with you. So we'll go ahead and keep this thing moving, man. We appreciate everybody in the chat hanging out with us, man. Let's keep it thing. So this is the interesting part. And I love this particular topic. So we're going to start with you again, Boogie, on this one. So the crazy thing about this E3 is that we talk about it and a lot of people have rated it so highly. Realistically, next year can be even better based on what we didn't show. If you look at the list versus what we saw versus what they could have shown, this is about a third of what they have in production and what's coming down the pipeline. So the lists are about the same length. So next year could potentially be just as good. So I'm talking Avowed, I'm talking actual Starfield gameplay, I'm talking, a lot of different games. I mean, I'm tip of the iceberg. But we're gonna start with you, Boogie. What do you think about? Obviously, we're far shooting here. So what do you think about just based on what we didn't see about next year?
I mean, I think what you said was correct. We have like a lot to look forward to. I mean, 2022 is going to have everything that got pushed from this year. And I guess you could say the same for Sony too, because like I said, things are going to get pushed, but 2022, I think is going to be jam packed, with content for video games. They've both ramped up. I think that it's kind of cool to be in this space because I think we've all been here for so long to see gaming finally be taken like as a serious, I guess, entertainment market. Yeah. So there's a lot of money being poured into content, and it's going to be great for us as consumers.
No, absolutely. I agree too. Sony has a lot to show too. I mean, like you said, with them pushing off some of the heavy hitters, obviously the God of War, the Gran Turismo, possibly, as you say, Boogie, you're for sure Horizon's getting pushed to next year as well. So we'll see about that.
I'm sure somebody will be something if it doesn't.
You definitely getting the DM for that one.
Yeah, but, it's all right.
We appreciate you, but no, I 100% agree as far as based on what we didn't show. Now, Fuzz, I wish I should have pulled up the list you sent me. I don't know if you want to pull that bad boy up, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll with you on this one because if you don't know, just so that we're sure here, go ahead and go down that list of what we didn't see, Fuzz.
Now, this is just first party, and this is probably what we'll see for E3 2022. Just my predictions. Now, Hellblade 2, we'll get to see some actual gameplay, I think. Even though it'll be a bit early, it's not going to probably come out in 2022. It'll probably be 2023. Studio move, new building, whole bunch of stuff, but figure Hellblade 2 gameplay. Halo Infinite DLC, because they're going to continue to add things as time goes on. They have like that similar Destiny type 10-year plan for this, so there's more than likely going to be some pretty hefty DLC. There's probably going to be some Flight Sim DLC for the consoles because they're already doing that for the PC, and they're adding stuff. I would say every 3 months or so. Mm-hmm. They redo some of the sections, add some more planes, add some more airports, add more details to areas. Forza Horizon's first DLC, because there's going to be 2 expansions for that. So we'll probably at least see one of them, if not the second one, by that point in time. We're also going to have Avowed gameplay, because I think that's a little bit further along than at least Outer Worlds 2 is. But I would expect to see some early gameplay for Avowed. Forza Motorsport, we'll probably actually see that unveiled, just kind of like the way we saw how Horizon was unveiled, but it'll be the new engine. They'll probably spend some time talking about the detail of the new tire physics and new suspension physics and how weather and wind and all that affects, handling and stuff like that. We're probably going to see Starfield gameplay, because remember, it doesn't come out until November, so we're going to see a little bit more about it. And I think they're going to tease us throughout the year up until release with little things like, you hear a signal on a distant planet, or you're recruiting people to your team, or you're colonizing a planet or something along those lines. I think we'll get to see at least a good chunk of gameplay next E3. We'll probably get to see some Contraband gameplay, although once again, it'll probably be early. It'll be like a small slice type of thing. So that way it'll put some of the, questions to rest, as far as it going to be a more Uncharted Tomb Raider type of thing, or if it's going to lean more to Payday and Grand Theft Auto with the heists and stuff. We're also going to see some Redfall gameplay, because I think, even though it was a CGI trailer this go round, I think there's at least something to it as far as what is being built out, although I don't think the game comes out until 2023. We'll probably see some stuff from Compulsion. I'm predicting it's going to be a Contrast 2 possibly, but it may be called something totally different, because Contrast did kind of follow some of that BioShock-esque type art style and things like that, but we'll see something from Compulsion next year. And then there's going to be the announcements of games that, should have already hit the PS5 at that point, but they'll make the mention of Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo coming to Game Pass. They're going to talk about possibly Wolfenstein 3, which, Machine Games is doing something additional to Indiana Jones. Like I'm pretty sure after they did the New Bloods, like standalone DLC, I guess you could say. I'll call it more of a standalone DLC than a full game, but I'm pretty sure they have a Wolfenstein 3 pretty close or pretty far in the works. Then we may see some Fable gameplay, like to have Forza Horizon 5 kind of be like a secret project in the background. Sure, they've had more than 2 years from the release of 4, but they're also working on Fable. But I know the teams are kind of divvied up, so they have a team dedicated to Fable, and they've already been working for at least 2 years at this point. So by year 3, we'll probably see some gameplay on that. We'll probably see Coalition's smaller Unreal Engine 5 game, because there was rumors of, what's going to be the next Gears and things like that, and I think that might be a little bit longer, because I think they're going to go all out, just like not quite a new engine and stuff other than it being Unreal 5, but I think they're going to go all out, kind of like the way Halo did with its new engine and more open world. I think they're going to do something on a bigger scale with Gears Next or Gears 6 or whatever they wind up calling it. But I do remember hearing that they're going to be working kind of like a play test. So it may be considered a AA level kind of game, or just a smaller snippet of a UE5 engine game that they're going to work on to kind of, stretch their legs, kind of get a feel for it before they, go full board into Gear 6. Then we're going to probably see inXile's third-person game, or at least the announcement of it, whether it be a CGI trailer or a full-out gameplay. inXile is working on something that's supposed to be like a future steampunk third-person game, or at least that's the rumors, I think, from Cloverrule and a few others, but we'll probably see something along those lines. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And then there's, also Project Mara, which I don't know how far along that goes. I think that's also going to be like a UE5 smaller snippet that Ninja Theory will be working with to kind of, test a few things, although they've gone to the extra mile where they've actually been able to replicate like natural dust fall in an apartment. So the level of detail on that, I think it's going to be more of a visual showpiece with, a very, I won't say a deep story to it, but I think it's going to be one of those horror type psychological games that really get you thinking type of deal. And then Everwild, well, we heard about the reboot. I don't think they're completely scrapping everything. Like I've always kind of thought that was going to be corrupted, creatures or animals, and you have to go and cleanse them and fight other, possibly magic-based people that were in that area trying to corrupt the animals or corrupt the area and stuff. But we'll see what they come up with as far as a game loop on that. I think they're going to keep the art style and some of the visuals that we saw, but they'll just come up with a more, I guess, solid or fun game loop that will keep you coming back, kind of like the way Sea of Thieves is and things along those lines. And that's first party. That's just first party.
That's why I had to run down the list, chat. Sorry about that. I know it was a bit lengthy, but I just wanted to make sure you guys understood what was left off the list. There's a ton of things that they didn't show. That's why next year could possibly be just as big. And I do want to ask you another thing as well, Boogie. If we could jump forward here, if you had the remote in the movie Click and you could fast forward a year from now, what would be out of what we know we haven't seen? What do you want to see? Just pick one game that you want to see that you think we're going to see next year. What are you most excited for?
State of Decay 3.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Why State of Decay 3?
It just looked like it was going to be more realistic, than what we've seen from the game so far. So anything that's more photorealistic and whatnot, I'm all in for. So I don't know. I just like that the characters, like I said, look more cinematic. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably not explaining this well, but the current ones are more cartoony, I guess I could say. Yeah.
It's like caricatures, kind of.
Right.
But that CGI trailer that they did, considering now, was it Unreal Engine 5 with the metahumans? I can only imagine how much detail they can go into as far as whether it's the clothing, the hair, eyelashes, freckles, things like that. I think we're going to see an awesome character creator, or even if they do pre-made characters, I think they'll be to the nth degree as far as photorealism. I can't wait.
And I don't think we've I don't think anyone's made the comparison, but the trailer made me think of The Last of Us, right? So if we have more of The Last of Us type, gameplay with State of Decay, I think that they're going to hit that out of the park. I mean, everybody want to play that,
Yeah, that's an interesting game. And it can go a lot of ways, but what I'm seeing visually, especially, is definitely a big upgrade. I think the visuals are going to be surprising for a lot of people. I think they're going to be doing some cool stuff as far as the world and just a bigger space to play in and just new ideas. So that's another game a lot of people aren't really talking about, but I think as time goes by, people will talk more about. So that's a great one, Boogie. That's I don't say left field because it's not, because it was on my radar as well, but that's one people aren't really talking about much. But that's a great choice. So I want to make sure I get to the rest of my fellas here. Pong, where we at, man? Did I go with you first? I wanted to make sure.
No,
all right, go ahead.
No. God, Fuzzy laid it out perfectly. Thank you for that list, Fuzzy. That's a big giant list. Actually, you had said a third. I actually went through it and I kind of figured more. They showed us a quarter of what they really have in the works. The one thing I will say is with that giant list, obviously there's going to be a lot to show. They're not going to bring it all to E3, right? They're going to do what they kind of did this year, maybe even a little bit less than they did this year. I think once they get their calendar firmed up, I think once they figure out as hopefully the pandemic continues to clear up and things get back to normal more so, and the devs get back to work and they really can kind of definitely dig in and kind of figure out exactly what kind of time frame they're looking at. I expect to see more shows out of Xbox, again, kind of like the State of Plays or the Nintendo Directs throughout the year. because I think they have so much content. Because like Fuzzy said, we're not even talking about second party. We're not even talking about third party deals. We're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about indie games, right? We're talking about big titles. I think they need to have a better rhythm, just like they're going to have a rhythm to their release times, where they were talking about one big game per quarter, where you're going to have some kind of showcase almost quarterly to highlight the games that are going to be coming out the next quarter, or say 2 quarters ahead. So I think that E3 for Xbox will be big. I think you're definitely going to see Starfield there next year. I think you'll definitely see Redfall there, because Redfall actually had a release date for summer of 2022. I expect it to be late 2022. So I think we'll get a Bethesda type big blowout at E3 for that game, and then a release date of July or August. So I think you're going to have those kind of big titles there. We'll definitely see Avowed. Again, I definitely see the heavy hitters showing up. It just depends time frame wise how they're going to plan it out. Now that Starfield is holiday 2022, I was kind of thinking Avowed would slot in there if Starfield was this year. I think you kind of now I think Avowed kind of fits perfectly and slots into Q1 of 2023. I think that would be a perfect spot there. I think Phil and his team probably with these big RPGs, because they have so many studios working on these big open world RPGs that we already know of, and maybe some that we don't know about. I think he wants at least one big AAA RPG per year. And I think at some point in some years, we're going to get 2 bookended, right? Q1 and Q4, because I think that's how you kind of want to space out those big RPGs so they get breathing room from everything else. Starfield's going to be gigantic from what we know. And I don't think you want to have like an Avowed or anything else drop in there. But I think that my main point here is that 2022, 2023 are going to be mind-blowing. Again, when we look back at them, we're going to be like, holy cow, I can't believe we saw what we saw in 2021 with 30 titles was big. We had no idea what we were going to see in 2022, 2023. And so I think that Microsoft, though, from the point that they have to give these titles their due, and they don't want to have them all just, puked all over the E3 stage where they all get kind of jumbled together and everybody's like, oh my God, remember this one? They're going to kind of space them out themselves with some other shows. I would imagine that's at least how I would do it from a market standpoint, just to give everyone their spotlight and their time to have people look at them, have people go, wow, I'm getting excited for this game now, instead of all at one time. It could almost be overload if you try to do it that way. But point of fact is, there is more content than any of us can even imagine at this point. We're not even talking about new acquisitions that they're probably going to make. We already know. We're not talking about the third-party deals, which they're going to continue to do. Again, Game Pass is the Netflix of gaming. They have to have continuous content. Even if we're all screaming, my God, I'd have no time for these games. It does not matter. They don't care about us at that point. They care about the people, new people they got to bring in. And so they want something fresh where somebody just one day goes, hey, let me check out this Game Pass. Oh my God, this game just dropped in there. I got to sign up right now. That's what they want. So
I'm in on that. I'm 100% in on that. And next year is going to be amazing for both. I want to make sure we point that out too as well, because Sony has some bullets in the chamber as well. They have plenty of things that they can show. God of War obviously is going to be huge. So we want to
wait, you mean Sony's not dead yet? Come on.
No, absolutely not. We're not getting messy. We're not
getting messy. I'm just sarcastic. Sony ain't going nowhere, and they're gonna have plenty of deals left.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Sony's gonna be all right, guys. No worries, chat. Shout out to Chris, man. Enjoy that mac and cheese. Appreciate you hanging out with us. But Centurion, let's go ahead and get this over to you, man. As far as what we didn't see next year, as big as there's a lot of shit. He just went over the list. There's a ton of stuff. These are huge games, huge IP, Centurion. So where you at as far as next year?
Hold on. Let me let this bullet out of the chamber, because yes, next year is going to be a big E3 for Christopher Hart when he finds out Starfield is coming to PlayStation because Xbox bought them.
Oh no! Stop it!
Anyways, I'm joking. Oh man, dude, I am hyped. It's kind of interesting. I guess the people on the show, even the people that listen to the show for the most part, are kind of in the know. They always hear the rumors of who's working on what and who could be making this and who's making that. And I mean, from what we all hear, I am excited. I can't name off as many titles as you guys have already named off. I'm already sitting there like, well, man, what can I name off? And most of the stuff some of the stuff we even know about doesn't even have names yet. Let's take we know the initiatives. Has anybody mentioned? I don't remember hearing somebody mention the
No,
initiative.
we haven't even mentioned them yet. Well,
Initiative, we know it's Perfect Dark
well-
esque, but that's all we know. So
we know it's Perfect Dark.
Oh no, it's Perfect Dark for sure.
Yeah,
well, Perfect Dark
Dark.
esque, but are we talking like the story that we know, like Joanna Dark that we
Yes.
know, or
Yeah,
are we like rehatching this thing and you're just gonna get a total remake? Like,
I think they're going for the nostalgia. I think it's going to be a direct line, like you can trace it back to the early games.
The best way to describe the character transformation I'm thinking of is the transformation of the Tomb Raider character of Lara Croft of then to Lara Croft of now.
I got what you're saying, like a maturity, just not quite a
just
different
a mature,
character.
more like a realistic, more obtainable almost kind of person, because let's just think about it, the original Lara Croft was almost in a sense a comic book character, and they gave a more depth and realism to the character in the last 3 iterations of Tomb Raider.
True. No, good point.
So that's where definitely I'm looking forward to what the future has to bring. There is definitely a lot of great games being worked on by a lot of great developers. And we all see, let's talk about one thing that's going on, like the Unreal Engine 5. We see we see game engines and the owners of these game engines like the Unreal Engine 5, and we even see Microsoft wanting to start trying to somehow incorporate their game engines into cloud tech to make these game engines more accessible to more developers and just more people in general who want to be able to craft games. So I'm really looking forward to, honestly, what the future holds for gaming. Because in my opinion, I really feel like as time goes forward now, we're going to really be able to start blurring the lines between AA and AAA. Because let's look at Stalker 2, the game that everybody's talking about. And it's technically, somebody said here, it's an independent developer. So I'm really looking forward to just what some of these developers are going to be able to do with this new tech that a lot of these companies are putting in their hands. And the sky's the limit, honestly, for games, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. And I think that's the key point of all of this. Boogie said it, Pong said it, Fuzzy said it, in many different iterations. I think we're all eating good, gamers. We really are eating good. Iron sharpens iron. And I think that's what you're going to see this time around. I think so the crazy thing about this, and I'm actually going to go back to you on this one, Boogie. I think we're going to close with this one because I was thinking about this earlier today. When you really think about the position of both companies, I think people forget how bad it really was for Xbox during last generation, how bad they started more specifically. There is none of that this time around. There's nothing to draw on. There's no power narrative. There's no DRM narrative. Obviously, I think this E3 pretty much put to bed the no games narrative. The roadmap is fairly clear. There's no confusion as far as, they're all in on gaming. They showed that. They did the CEO is all in on gaming. I don't know if that's something that you realize, but how much more beneficial do you think that is for Xbox this time around?
I feel like we're at a point where it's just going to take more games to come out and be those hits and be those exclusive hits to bring more people to the Xbox ecosystem to then learn that Xbox is all right. It's okay to be a fan of Xbox. Like, I feel like people are so apprehensive of Xbox from shit they did like years back, as far as Microsoft and whatnot. But if you were really someone who knew, you would know that Sony's doing the same shit right now. And I feel like one of the benefits, I talked about this on GWG, but one of the benefits to Sony not being there is that they don't have to go head to head with Xbox. True. They get to basically decide, we're going to do our stuff on the side, and you don't have to have that side-to-side comparison of, Xbox, Sony, because it's not advantageous for them to do that at this point, because they can't compete with Game
I did
Pass.
not think at it from that standpoint. I didn't
Right.
think about it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I kind of want to elaborate on that, man. You're gonna make the show go another 30 minutes, Boogie. No, that was just I wanted to bring that up because I think that's very important to look at this time around. I think that the narrative, aka that gap that seems to be in the general gaming space, that there's a gap between Sony and Nintendo and Xbox. They're not really all on the same level, that type thing. I think that's definitely going away very, very quickly, and I think people are realizing that. I'm not saying that that's why Sony, and I don't think that's what you're saying as well, Boogie. That's why Sony moved their show or anything like that. I don't know if that was even influence at all. I don't think they needed to, really. I mean, Sony doesn't really need to do anything different. They can continue just showing what they supposed to show, and people are going to be 100% fine with that. The quality's there. We kind of know what we're getting. So
yeah, they're getting to Nintendo status for sure.
Yeah. From a general standpoint, I do agree with that. So, but we're gonna go ahead and close this thing up, man. I wanted to ask that last question, man. But the chat once again was lit. I appreciate everybody for hanging out, man. We had a phenomenal show. This was the E3 layover shop podcast reaction, whatever you want to call it, man. But you guys were amazing, chat. You guys always are. But we're gonna go ahead and get to our guests first. I want to say first and foremost, Boogie, appreciate you. Appreciate all the ladies at GWG. You guys are doing great things in the community. They're versatile people. So they stream. They're always active in the community. They do a lot of things for charity. They got a lot going on. So shout out to you, Boogie. Shout out to all the gamers out there that just happen to be women. Nothing wrong with that at all. We all playing the same thing. So it may definitely want more empowerment and representation there. And you guys are doing a fantastic job with that, Boogie. So let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, thanks so much, and thank you to everybody else that had me on here. It was great having the show with you guys. Y'all can find me on Twitter mainly. I do stream, but because I'm moving and whatnot, I haven't been streaming lately. So, but you can still find me on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, and then every Saturday morning with the Ladies of Grown Women Gaming on YouTube and on Anchor and all that good stuff.
Definitely find it at the corner store near you for sure.
Right?
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, man. Easy to find. All that information is easy as find as well down in the description. So please do me a favor. If you guys are fans of this show, go check out GWG, check out Boogie, follow her. She's a co-host. She's pretty important over there. So she has a lot of inside information, knows what's going on. So if you guys want more information on GWG, she'll be probably one of the better people to follow. So we appreciate you, your energy here, Boogie, as well, your gaming knowledge. Appreciate you. You're a real true gamer, and that's what I love, and that's why I enjoy having you on here. So let's go ahead and move this over to my compadres here. Once again, while we close, shout out to Stag as well, man. Appreciate you, brother. Energy. I know we'll still be in the DMs talking and everything, but speedy return to us, brother. But Pong, Steve Harvey, 15. I think this is pretty much wrapping up the week, unless you're on ILP. I think you're done.
Nope, I'm done. I'm done.
All right,
so I get to relax a little bit.
Yeah,
now.
hang them up, man. Hang them up. But I appreciate you, man. Always bringing the energy. You just super knowledgeable, man. You really are a true gamer, man. So we appreciate you here. But let everybody know what's cooking up, brother.
Yeah, man. As always, what a great way to end my podcasting week on a Saturday night with my brothers, Fuzzy, Centurion, and of course, our amazing guest, Boogie. I appreciate you so much for coming by. I loved your thoughts and your takes on things. Again, I always love to hear different perspectives. It's amazing. And it was really, really awesome. So again, love you all. Yeah, absolutely. Love and respect you all. Chat, you guys were freaking on fire as you always are. This is a big week. This was E3 week. Everybody's fired up. Everybody's got a lot of energy. I don't know if you've all felt it, but it's different. It just hits different. And this year, especially, it hits different in different ways. But it's incredible to see everybody continue to show up and show support for all of us. So again, thank you all in chat. Love you all. You know that. But otherwise, let's see, starting next week, first of all, you can find me Pong Soul everywhere, Xbox, Twitter. You know the drill there. Tuesday, start my podcasting week off with the Xbox Factor podcast with Mr. Boomstick, Zemi Games, 3-Bit. And this week we have a special crossover with Rand L. Thor, the man with a million, and
awesome.
Jez. So the Xbox 2 are going to be there. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome show, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Then next Friday, Obviously, Xbox Ultimate, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time with Fun Speculation, aka Mav. The man's doing amazing work out there.
Shout out to Mav and Caitlin. She was here earlier as well.
Yeah, his beautiful wife, Caitlin, the rest of the Magnificent Seven. But Mav's been getting some great guests as well. We've been just rocking and rolling. It's my extended family over there as well. Love those guys. So come see us, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Saturday mornings, I Steal Rain, my brother from another, and myself are coming at you live as we do every Saturday morning. We're going to wake you up if you're not woke up. It doesn't matter. Just come see us. We have a great time, man. We're just having so much fun. We just wrapped up episode 14 today. So again, come check us out. It is Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, Saturday mornings, 3 p.m. UK time for all of our European brothers and sisters. So come check us out, Living Split Screen. And then, of course, I'll see you guys right back here on the Shop Podcast to finish up Saturday night. Man, again, love you all. Much respect. Play what you love what you play. And you know what? Just, again, a special shout out, all the fathers out there. You guys have a great day. Again, it's a good day. Just sit down, relax, enjoy yourself, and just sit back and enjoy what you have in your families. Everybody should do that on an everyday basis, but obviously it's easier to remember on those special days. So again, happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, shout out to all the fathers, all the single mothers, all the people out there just doing what they need to do ultimately. So we appreciate you all. Shout out to you as well, Pong, for just being a battery of the show, man. Appreciate you always bringing it every single Saturday, man. You add so much here, and you're a rock star. I told you, brother. So we appreciate you, man. Let's go ahead and throw this over to Centurion, man. We appreciate you as well. Let everybody know what's going on with you, Centurion.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. It's been an awesome show tonight, and thank you, ma'am. It has been another great show. It was nice to meet you once again. Dude, PTK, you bring some of the most awesome guests on. I mean, I really can't think of like a diverse guest lineup than PTK right here on the Shop Podcast. So thank you for letting me be part of this, man. It's a blast to come here every Saturday, talk games, chat with everybody here. For those who are interested in finding me, please find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Xbox Live, and of course, Twitter. You can find me right here every Saturday night, chatting it up right here on the Shop Podcast with these amazing gentlemen. And you can also find me on the TXR Podcast every Sunday night, where we just kind of just talk more about Xbox and the gaming industry as well.
Absolutely. Shout out to you, man. Always hanging out with us, man. Appreciate you bringing the energy every single week, man. Thank you so much, man. And last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, man. Let everybody know what's going on with you, brother.
Well, definitely want to thank El Boogie for coming back to the show. And it was awesome chatting games with you and having some of the grown women in gaming in the chat with Sharice and Lady Infamous. And I guess Delilah will probably catch this on replay, but
yeah,
your show, I always try to catch you guys on the weekend. And I know last week I saw you guys had the developer for Aerial Knight, Never Yield, and that's awesome. And I wound up picking up that game as well. Awesome. But it's so great having guests like you on and everything, and just talking about one of our favorite hobbies.
Right.
And shout out to Stag. I know you weren't with us tonight, but hey, man, take it easy. Get hope you have a speedy recovery here soon. Always fun here with Pong and Centurion and you, Blam. Talking about games, and man, our Christmas or Christmas Eve equivalent with E3. It's now the rest, but now we got, the next 6 months of games to look forward to, and
18 in Game Pass. 18 in Game Pass, guys. 3 a month. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, can't forget the other platforms. Although I still got to get me a 3080 or 6800 XT or something like that before the end of the year. But
don't talk about Boogie about them cards. You're gonna get her started. Please don't. See, I was on the show when she was talking about them cards. So yeah.
Yeah, at Micro Center, I'm hearing some employees are doing some stuff in the back, and I won't get into it. But anyway, it was fun being here. Chat was awesome. Everybody on the panel was awesome. Just so much fun being here. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Awesome, man. And last but not least, your host with the most, PTK Blam, across the board. Follow me on Twitter if you're going to figure out, what's going on. You want to keep up what's going on with the shop, as well as me, myself, and I, man. Hit me up on Xbox Live. Same thing, PTK Blam across the board. Greatly appreciate you guys bringing the energy every single week. Thanks all the super chats. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys' energy, your time. Just let everybody know what's going on. We like to grow the shop podcast, keep this thing going. Thank you guys. So same place, same place next week, same time. Gonna have a guest as well. So we always gonna bring the energy. So we hope you guys join us next week. Poll of the week Monday. Don't forget about that. But we're out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day out there as well. Please be safe. Wash your hands. We love you guys. See you next week.
Later.